Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Dubois Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm talking about something that kind of relays some information that I've been testing theories out, I guess I could say. And I guess I'm going to start thinking a little bit because something that I'm doing right now is something that I'm testing this theory out every day. And that's the concept of your thoughts are lying to you. Your thoughts are deceiving you. Your thoughts are what's actually making you not do what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And we're all, not all, but most people are in the idea of you're trying to get new ideas and spark stuff, and your ideas will get you to get out there and do stuff. But in reality, those thoughts of all these new ideas and all this new creative stuff is more than likely something that's not allowing you to actually do it in the first place. And that's why I'm kind of just really testing these concepts of just doing regardless of what you think about. Regardless of how your thoughts are leading you, you still just do anyways. Something fascinating that I will say, even when it just comes down to a simple thing of exercise, that there's days like today that I even see it in this Dalmatian. I don't want to be out here. I don't want to go for a walk. I woke up this morning in the sense of like I just sat down on the patio, drank a couple cups of water, and just was like, we're not doing this today. And I'm listening to my thoughts, saying you're tired, the dog's even tired, your legs are sore, it's a little rainy and windy out. Just everything started to just get going. All the way to the point of driving here. It starts raining for a little bit. And I'm like, oh, see, we're gonna cancel that. But instead, I just pushed forward and just, in reality, accepted that those thoughts are a lie. And I just got to walking. And now we're on the move. Now the more and more that we're out here walking, the better and better, in reality, I'm starting to notice I'm getting more chill. Like I can feel it in my body. I can sense it in my dogs right away when I know that something in my body is just, it's holding me back from doing what I want to do. And the thoughts in reality, I believe, are slowing us down from actually listening to what our body is trying to tell us. That's why I like these dogs. I've been doing some research on this. It's called, what is it called? Radical behaviorism. It's fascinating because I can't only just look at what I'm seeing as face value. I got to know that there's stuff behind the scenes that's going on that I can't see, that I can't really even interact with. But there's stuff in the background that's going on that's causing everything on this planet in reality to do what it is that it's doing. And if I don't pay attention to that part, I'm going to be missing, I feel like, in reality, more and more I just keep doing stuff out here, the bigger picture of what's going on. The bigger picture of me, my body can look away, but you don't really quite know everything that's going on inside of me with how my body is functioning. So I'm just doing based on, in reality, the state of being that my body is in and trying to do the opposite. And I can see that in real time with these dogs because I can see what my body is doing. And what my body is doing in reality is kind of what my thoughts are doing. And if I just keep going down that realm of just basically straight up giving up and quitting and allowing my thoughts to just be able to take over, I'm not going to get done what I know I need to get done. And what I know I need to get done is something that, in reality, I don't want to do. But the only way that we can really, in reality, get into a better place is by doing stuff that you don't want to do. And you start to find more clarity in doing the things that you just do not want to do. You start to get more peace in your life by doing the things that you just don't want to do. But I don't believe it's a sense, because this is the part where I believe that I could say that there's something more going on this planet than what the eye can see. Because the stuff that I don't want to do, it's the stuff that my thoughts are telling me I don't want to do. As opposed to what my body in reality is saying, I want to get up and I want to do that. I want to experience that. I want to interact with that. I want to do something with that. But my mind is saying, no, don't do that. You don't want that. You don't want to have to deal with that. It's really interesting that my mind is disconnected from my body in a way of like my body knows in reality straight up what's right and what's wrong and what to work on and what to stay away from. And come on, guys. What to work on and what to stay away from and what I should focus. Come here. Ophi, come here. What I should focus more of my time and my energy on. And hi. And okay. What I should focus my energy on and my mind is okay. Is basically always telling me what I shouldn't do and what I should do, as opposed to the body is just on this like this rampage. Because something that I experience a lot in my life that I know I'm not the only one. It's not so much as like the thought of a memory can really draw me into it. It's using my other senses, or I should say my senses. I don't believe that thoughts are a sense in our body. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me on that. I'm constantly trying to figure more stuff out. But by seeing something, by hearing something, by smelling something, I could get myself to be back into where it was when I heard that. For me, what's powerful are old pictures and old music. I could listen to a song from, say, the year of 2000. I could tell you what I was doing that day when I was like really jamming out to that song. I could tell you everything, like what I was eating, what I was wearing, what I was driving, who I was with, what was going on in the day, so I know so much information based on hearing something. And to me, I don't know what it is, but that is like so powerful in a way of my thoughts can't even process all of that. But yet my senses are able to easily like block that into memory. And that's the concept that I believe is what challenges a lot of dogs in the end of the day, because they don't have that thought process, but they have the biggest sense of smell, the biggest sense of all these other senses that are much greater for them. So their memory is based out of smell, based out of hearing. And if they smell something that frightens them, they kind of just want to stay in that frightened state of that smell. And it's hard for them to get out of it, as opposed to realizing that's old stuff. So it's like me, if I'm listening to a song that something tragic was going on in my life and it puts me in a downward spiral, I mean, this is something I can put even easier than that, in the sense of me knowing a whole bunch of guys in the military that when you hear the bombs going off and you get back into it again, your senses are, in reality, being honest with you, but you're locked in somewhere in a sense that you just don't know how to escape, because you're not being able to, like, basically, I think the thing that starts to challenge us is our thoughts start to kick in. And that's where it's interesting for dogs, because I could basically snap a dog out of that almost instantaneously. When I see a dog because my dog here, my shepherd, was nervous of going under bridges because of the way the cars make the bumpity bumpity sound. He was just terrified. And I can literally in 20 minutes, if that, get him to like, oh, see, there's nothing wrong here. He freezes and he's like, I don't know what to do. And then he looks and he's like, okay, we're fine. And I believe that that's where the dogs may have that same sense that it could send them back into what scares them, but it's our thoughts that make us stay in it, that we can't get past it. Our thoughts just force us to just never even try to go past it. Our thoughts start to take over and consume us, as opposed to our body saying, we're fine, we could get past this, we could go through this, we're gonna be okay. Because it's gonna freeze, but it's gonna verify what's going on. And once it verifies, oh, we're not there anymore, you're fine. But if your thoughts start to come back, man, it's something that's just real interesting on how I'm just really looking at this world of using my body and not my thoughts to figure out how to navigate it. And these dogs are able to read my body way better than they can read anything that's going on with me. And they're able to kind of force me to do some things. Because even straight up, this is where my Dalmatian, even right now, is really showing me a lot. Of the further and further that we keep going, the more and more of these hills that we keep walking, hotter, I don't know what it is, it's hot out again. It's back to like about to be 90 degrees again today. And the other day it was like 40 something. We got strange weather around here. It's never consistent. It's just wild all over the place. And the more that we're out here just dealing with this, the better and better that we're getting, because we're not worried about what my thoughts have to say in it, but just what my body actually needs. What it needs is to go through it. It needs to get past it. It needs to deal with the struggles and the chaos and the problems. It needs to get tired. It needs to keep pushing through. It needs to get up and do something, anything to get up and do, especially something of a creative sense. Like, it needs to go and do it. Regardless if your mind is saying, I don't feel like it, your body is needing it. And the way I'm looking at it is, our mind is constantly lying to us. So we can't quite 100% pay attention to it. This is why a lot of times, like, I can go back and talk of some old stuff that I used to do, where I used to smoke a lot. I needed to be more creative. I would get more. But then I'd realize, actually, I would get less. So I may get more creative with coming up with more ideas, but I never put any of those ideas into practice, because I'm just coming up with new ideas. So who cares if you can come up with ideas if you can't actually put it into practical application? The practical application part is, in reality, straight up the hardest part, because you have to do at that moment. You can no longer just think and think and think. That's why you can sit around and have great conversations all day long about great ideas, but it's only the few that actually get it done. And that's in reality going against what it is that your mind, your thoughts are trying to tell you to do. Kai is going against it. Your thoughts are basically, no, you're too tired. No, you're too sick. No, you're too old. No, you're too fat. No, you're too skinny. No, you're too slow. No, you're basically everything. Everything is just wrong with you. And when everything is wrong with you, you don't ever really get anything done. You're just in this constant struggle of, man, that's the best way of saying it. Living in freeze mode and just getting frozen when anything starts to happen. You don't actually get it done. You just stop. And you, Ophi, come here. You just stop and don't do, come on. Kai. Hi. He's good. He's not going to mess with you. That dog, I like him so much, but people get terrified when they see him. It's just that German Shepherd. We just freeze, just like he did back there. He still does that sometimes when he sees people, because are you going to come and try to mess with me, is what he freezes for. And thankfully, his look enough is enough to push majority of people away to just leave him alone. Then he's like, oh, okay, cool, I'm fine. But he just can't stand it when people get and invade his space. So that's the part where I wish I can get more metrics on the dogs. I need to get like a heart rate monitor. I need to get a couple other things. Mainly just a heart rate monitor would be cool, so that I can see what's going on with them in those moments and they start to get nervous of what's happening. And then being able to realize how to be able to get them to get through that in a way of, the unfortunate part, I guess I could say with that, is just getting through it in a way that you don't really get a choice. Your senses may say danger, but you're not actually in danger. So you need to be able to push through that danger. Because if your senses are saying danger and you get to the point of just shutting down and freezing, you're only worse off, going to get worse off in the end. You're just not gonna make it. And that's kind of like what our mind is constantly doing. It's it's like overriding our senses. When your senses say, hey, there's danger going on, you start to think like, oh no, everything's okay. Then all of a sudden you realize it actually was danger. Like you really did need to pay attention to that. And our mind is like very conflicting with when we're going back and forth with what it is that we actually should be doing. Because it's hard to get up and do. It's easy to just theorize and question and have all kinds of stuff to say. That's easy. That's like, at the end of the day, like that's kind of why me personally, I believe that we're at a struggle with like growth more on this planet today. That it seemed like we go in history and just, it's like we were just doing so much. Whereas today, it's like we're just limited in reality. And I could base that on a simple cell phone that we all have in our pockets. Like we haven't grown. I could base that on the simple vehicles that we're still driving. We haven't grown. Our simple airplanes that we're still flying, we haven't grown. A simple lawnmower that we still cut grass the same way today. As just, it's like we're not growing anymore. We're at this standstill with trying to be able to help folks out with like addictions that are destroying their lives. We're not actually getting better. It's like we're hitting this stale point where things are just, it's almost like we've capped out with our knowledge. And now we're hoping that this AI is gonna like bring us to that next part of our future. Our AI is only gonna be as smart as we are. Straight up. It's only collecting from us. And all it's gonna be able to do is replicate what we have. And we can make it seem like it's a genius because it can come up with equations faster than what we can. But all it's coming up with is the same equations because that's the only information that it has to be able to use. And it's fascinating when I hear people talk about how it's going to take over and do all that, but it's only just going off of our thinking and not our doing. Because what we're doing is, man, just all the same stuff over and over and over. And I believe that that's the part that why we as humans, we're starting to get more disconnected from our bodies, and we're relying on our mind. We're getting disconnected from our bodies and relying more on what is it called? Intellect, your school studies, as opposed to your street smarts. Your street smarts are way more valuable than your school studies. I don't care, nobody's got to say on that. because you can have the best smarts. Because, I mean, personally, folks that I know that got better street smarts and just knowing how to work the world and know how to even just sell stuff is one thing that pretty much every single human being needs to know how to do. They're going to be way better off because they always have the best of work that I know, personal people that I know, than people that are intellectually intelligent. They know how to do these equations. They know how to do all this stuff, but they have no idea how to sell anything. And if you don't know how to sell nothing, you don't have a job because you got to sell yourself to the employer to be able to get that job that you're looking for. You need to be able to sell yourself to your employer again to get those raises. But the folks that got the street smart, they know how to do that because they're relying on that. All I can say is that intuition. They're relying on their body to know, is this deal going to come? Is it going to work? As opposed to trying to come up with all these equations in a way of like, what's my probability? Where when you're relying upon your instinct inside, you're not worried. You're going to be much quicker, much faster, much more resilient. Because when things are going on, you're going to be in real time knowing what's happening and not having to like write it out and have to talk it out and have to figure it out. It's already there inside of you. And to me, again, that's why the more and more educated that we keep getting, I believe the more and more, I don't want to say educated, because education clearly is a great thing, but just the education on how we are educating ourselves today with the system that we have as education. I believe things started to change a lot when it was the whole testing stuff, the standardized testing stuff. We all don't need to learn and educate ourselves with the same stuff. We should educate ourselves with the stuff that, in reality, we are most interested in and want to educate about. Me being a kid, I want to learn more math and sciences and stuff. And they're like, you're good at that, but now we're going to have to do extra remedial work for your reading and for all this other stuff because you're not good at it. To me, that's the part that is just silly. If I'm really good at something, push me further into what I'm good in. And we'll be much more educated in a better sense, not in a universal, we all are the same sense. So I'm not saying education is bad. I'm just saying the education that they force us to think that we need, as opposed to what we actually do need. Anyone will tell you, any school, any even trade schools, you go there and learn some stuff, but you still don't know what you're doing. I don't care if you know the whole job. You got to do it. You got to put it into practice. You got to put application in. You can't just sit back. And I believe that that's what is slowing us down. It's the thoughts of telling us to go against, in reality, what our body is wanting us to do. And the more that we start believing the thoughts, the more we're like, oh, I'm not smart enough, so I need more school. Okay, I did that. Okay, now I'm still not smart enough. I need another class. Okay, I'm still not good enough. Okay, I'm still not good enough because I'm too young. I'm too this, I'm too that. So you're always like needing more said intellect as opposed to just relying upon your body of knowing what it is that you need to get done. And it's challenging. I don't know how to say it, it's challenging. Even just my day to day, I do push myself, and pretty much every time that I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't know how many times in a day I say that to myself. I just don't know how many times. And this past couple of weeks, I've just been pressuring myself to who cares what you think? Just get your ass up and get it going. Sorry if that's some crazy language right there, but that's just what I have to say to myself sometimes to just get it going. Because it is what it is. I can't just think about it or worry about it later or come to another time because that another time isn't going to be there. You got to do it right now. And the more I keep doing that, the more I'm just getting I don't know what's going on. I don't even know how to put it in words yet. And I don't even know if I want to use words for it yet to really explain what it is that I'm experiencing in life. But it's a sense of like giving up on everything that you're thinking about. Ophi, I don't know what's going on today, but this is just like food. So, there was a race yesterday and people probably tossing stuff off the side. She's on this mission for food today like crazy. I got to get her drawn back in and get her back on track. But I've just been going completely against everything that I've been thinking. And if I'm like, I'm tired, I'm like, no, let's get up and go do something. I'm not tired. Okay, let's go ahead and take a nap. And just literally doing the opposite of what it is that my thoughts are telling me. When I'm like, I'm hungry, I'm like, I'm not eating right now. I'm full. Let me go ahead and eat some right now. I don't know why, but just in reality, just test and challenge some stuff out. I only get one life. I don't want to just go along with what my thoughts tell me I am. I kind of want to learn more about that's the part of me that I can say that there's all kinds of different ways that people go about this with. That's what I would say is I want to allow God to push me around to tell me what I'm doing, or someone else can say I don't know what else words to use there. But instead of me just being in control, let that control go and allow something else to be able to come in to basically be able to control me that's much greater than just how small-minded that I am as just a single person. Because there's more going on in this world than just what we can see. And that's what I'm trying to test and figure out more of. That what can't be seen part. What can't be seen. That's I don't know why, but that's what's fascinating to me. Thank you. I straight up came out here on the sense of I just don't want to be here. And now I feel pretty good. It's really interesting. It's such a blessing, I can say, and a curse at the same time to be alive. It's really neat. Even for just those little things that just can get you to smile. Those little things will make everything in the end, for me personally, just worth it. Some stuff out here that's just hard. But I believe the things that are hard is because I'm focusing on my thoughts more than I need to be. Because if I look around, I realize nothing actually really is all that hard. It's only just hard because I'm saying to myself that it is. That's stuff that I'm like constantly looking at myself, especially just with this running that I'm doing, which is still weird to me because the only thing I can say is I don't know about everyone else, but I just know me. There's something wrong with me for me to push myself to the point that I'm trying to get tired. And when I'm tired, I'm not tired yet. And I just keep going and going and going and going and going. I'm trying to almost like, in a sense, push myself all the way to the point that I just collapse. When I collapse, I'm tired at that moment. You got nothing in you at that moment. Because I remember that first 50K I ran, I got at mile 20, I stopped to get some drink, refill up, and I tried to start running, and my legs said, buddy, we done. But it's weird, because I still ran and walked another 12 miles past that. And when I got done, I still was walking around and talking and interacting, and then I still just got in the van, went home, and I still just kept going and going. Even though at mile 20, my legs said, buddy, you're done. But yet I kept going. There's something weird about that. That's like my mind is stating something. But my body is like, I can keep going. I'm fine. I'm not that tired yet. And I keep experiencing that with all these races I keep doing. Because some folks just show up to run. They just run. I don't show up to run. I show up to just, in reality, straight up like destroy myself. Just go out at a pace that I'm tired. And I got 12 miles to go still. And just see what's going to happen. And see where it leads me. And just see how long I can keep going with that. Like that's that last race I just did this weekend that I know. Because I even had to ask guys, because I looked at times up for last year. And I'm running in the front pack on I don't run these times that y'all run. And pretty much year after year, the same times come in. So I'm just running with them knowing I've never ran this fast in my life, period, for this long of a distance. And I just stayed with them until the point that I got tired. And then once I got tired, I just still kept going somehow. And then I got tired again and I still just kept going. Then I got so tired that I was going up one of these hills that I was like, I'm about to just walk for a moment. And I just gave up on that thought and said, no, we're fine. Just keep going. And somehow I just keep going and just keep going. It's like, I don't know about your mind, but my mind is, in reality, almost trying to sabotage everything that's going on with me. It's trying to limit me with what I'm capable of being able to do. And my body is able to just do things that it doesn't make sense. And the smarter and smarter that I try to get, the more I stay with just smarts as opposed to putting things into application. I believe that that's where dog training is getting challenged today. Everyone's so smart. Everyone's got all the ideas, but they don't actually try them out, test it out, actually do something different just to see. That's I guess the true word of what radical is. I really like your channel name, Robert. You did real good on that. But it's just fascinating to do something that in reality is going against what it is that you think should be right. At the end of the day, a lot of what I do with these dogs, I'll still say right now, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't have a smarts with it, but I have a said street smart on just understanding animal. I see animal, I'm like, I'm gonna work with this animal right here. I don't care what my thoughts are leading me, I'm doing. And that's the part where I can say I'm using my body of the said, I'm being an animal with the animal and not using my intellect. When you use your intellect, I believe you're starting to put differences on the animals that they don't actually have. They do have the senses, because it's something that when your dog's doing something that you've already told it not to do, such as last video I seen, chewing on your shoes, and your dog slips off and chew the shoe, and you stand up and you go into the bedroom and you see that dog looks at you with that face of guilt, with that face of like, man, I messed up. I know I shouldn't have, but now I'm doing it. And there's something with that. That what I learned in the dog school in reality is, the dog, that's not the dog's not guilty. It doesn't know what's going on. But I keep seeing that over and over and over again, and with my own dogs, with my own animals. Man, it's Johnny that's funniest to me. I don't really care too much about what he does today just because of all the craziness that I've done to him. So I just laugh off what he does, and it literally makes my life easier with him, because I'm not trying to, like, I don't know what word to use, but sometimes I see him, because it was just the other day. I put him out in the morning to go do what he want to do. I go back in my room and I look out my window and I see him walking right by my window. And I'm like, Johnny, what are you doing? He's clearly not on the patio where he's supposed to have been. And he just looked at me with this, like, he froze, like, dang, he caught me. Like, I didn't think that he would catch me. And then he just walked right back and jumped back in and got on the patio again. Like, they know, they remember all this. They know, it's incredible. They're not doing it based on me. They're doing it based on their own selves. So they definitely have something that's driving them that I believe we as humans don't quite understand, because we're trying to intellectually figure it out, as opposed to just looking at the bodies that we are. You're not gonna study enough to figure it out. You just have to experience it. And when you experience it, that's where now we can start doing some tests. Because at the end of the day, most everything that we do today is all theory. There's not much fact anymore. Everything's theory, but they teach us theories, try to make it seem to be fact, such as the theory of gravity. They try to make it to be fact, but it's a theory. We don't know still. And you got people out here that say, oh, that's what it is, but nobody knows still. It's all theory. And if we're living on theory, that means that we can try and test other things out. For some reason, that's why, again, my education system is weary, because they teach me theories, try to make it to be fact. So that doesn't make me think that I should do anything about it, because we already got it figured out. No, we don't have it figured out.